Okay, in this video I'm going to show you a problem involving the concept of a midpoint and the slope. It says here that the midpoint of the line segment MN is located at negative 2, 2 and the slope of MN is negative 1/2. Find the values of A, B, and C given that negative 4A or the point M is negative 4A and the point N is BC. Okay, so again, in any coordinate geometry, it is best that you plot the points whenever it is possible. So I can plot the midpoint of MN. So let's say this is the X and Y axis, and plotting the point negative 2, 2 will be, so negative 2 and positive 2, the location of the midpoint. So this is the midpoint of MN. So we don't know where M exactly is. We don't know where N exactly is. So, but we are sure that this point is a point in between M and N. Okay, we have another clue here that M is located at negative 4 on the X value. So if this is, let's say, 1 and then 3 and then negative 4, the point M should lie, so it should lie on this line. Okay, we don't know exactly where. Okay, but when you look at the information here, the slope is a negative 1/2. Remember that when a line has a negative slope, it should follow a path that is going downward. Okay, so if this is the midpoint of MN, or the possible location of the point M should be a point higher than this. So it can be here, can be here, can be here, any point that is higher than the point negative 2, 2, so that the slope will be negative. But again, we still don't know the exact location of M and the exact location of N. So how are we going to do this? Now, there are two things being considered here. One is the idea of the midpoint and one the idea of the slope. So what do we know about the midpoint? The midpoint can be solved when adding the x's and then we divide by 2, and when we add the y's then divided by 2. So this will give us the midpoint. On the other hand, the slope can be obtained from y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this will be the slope. Now let's use the numbers and the letters used for M and N. So in this setup, for the midpoint, if the x are negative 4 and b, that means the midpoint is negative 4 plus b over 2, and for the y it is a plus c over 2. Now take note that this is equal to, so this is from the given, this is negative 2 and this is positive 2. So that means negative 4 plus b over 2 must be negative 2, and a plus c over 2 should be equal to positive 2. From this equation alone, we can actually solve for b. So this is the same as negative 4 plus b equals negative 4 by multiplying both sides by 2. And with this, we can see that b is equal to negative 4 plus 4, or simply 0. Okay, so we found the value of b. So this n is actually 0 and the c, but we still don't know the c. Now in the second equation, we have a plus c over 2 equals 2. If you simplify this, this is equivalent to a plus c equals 4. So for now, we still don't know the a and c because we only have one equation to solve a and c. But again, we have two concepts that we have to consider. So we're done considering the midpoint. Now let's look at what the slope can give us. Okay, so if we get the y's, so again, our points are, so going back to the given, so these are the y. So you can have slope is c minus a, y2 minus y1 over b minus negative 4. So this is minus negative 4. This is equal to negative 1/2. Okay, but in our in the first part of the solution, we found that b is equal to 0. So this is just 0. So this equation will turn into c minus a over negative 4 is positive 4, then equals negative 1/2. If you multiply this by 4 on both sides, so the left side will become c minus a, while the other side will become negative 4. Okay, so we already have two equations which will be enough to solve for a and c. Okay, so let's write that down. So you have a plus c equals 4 and c minus a, negative a plus c, their equivalent, equals negative 4. In systems of equations, you can either use substitution, use elimination, or use the graphing method, depending on the given equations. But as you can see, these are exactly opposite, so I think the elimination will be the best way in solving this. If we add the two equations, you have a plus negative a will become 0, c plus c will become 2c, 4 plus negative 4 is also 0. So solving for c, this is c equals c over 2 or simply 0. So c is also equal to 0. Okay, so we found the value of c. Now what will be the a? Now you can go back to any of these two equations. If c is equal to 0, if this is 0, a plus 0 is equal to 4. That simply means a is equal to 4 because this is just 0. Okay, so we found the b to be 0, we found the a to be 4, and we found the c to be 0. So we already have the values for a and b. That's what we need. Okay, so this is negative 4, 0, and this is 0, and the c that we found is also 0. So actually it's the origin, and the negative 4, 0, 0. This is negative 4. A is found to be a is 4, not 0. So this is equal to negative 4, 4. Okay, so this is negative 4, and the location of the other point should be at positive 4, which is reasonable. It's logical because this is our this is what we are expecting to have. It should follow a negative slope, so it should be a line that is going down. And as you can see in our diagram, negative 4, 4 and 0, 0 actually has negative 2, 2 as the midpoint. Okay, so let's summarize the solution. Sometimes problem can involve two different concepts, so it is important that you know the different formulas. For example, you should know what is a formula in finding the midpoint. Another one, you should know how to find the slope. Usually in this cases, or in this case of problem, all you have to do is to form a set of equations and then work on those equations to find the unknowns. Okay, that's it.